Good day. The season is changing. No, I'm not talking about winter ending and spring starting. Rather, I'm talking about the seasons of the church year. With Ash Wednesday, the season of Epiphany, of looking for the presence of God in the world around us, ends, and the season of Lent begins. Lent is a reflective season, a time of preparing for Easter, a time of thinking about our lives, and especially about the year just past, what we might have done differently, what we might need to change as we move into the year ahead. Lent is the period of 40 days, not counting Sundays, before Easter. We don't count Sundays because at least some of us think of Sundays as mini celebrations of the resurrection. And so in the midst of our reflecting, of our thinking about how we need to change, to turn towards God and away from any destructive patterns that we might be part of, we stop and celebrate the light and the hope that is part of our Easter faith. Lent is a time of reflecting and thinking. In our old language, we talked of it as a time for repentance. Repentance often carries with it some negative connotations about somehow suffering or punishment. But really, Lent is about turning away from all those things that distract us and keep us from being the faithful, the kind, the loving, the compassionate people that God invites us to be, and of turning toward God and God's love and grace. Recently, I had a very brief conversation with somebody about guilt. And as part of it, I stated that I think guilt is a relatively useless kind of thing because it has the potential to keep us frozen where we are, unable to act. God's remedy for guilt is forgiveness, for setting free. And so we do have a way out from under, a way through, a way around our guilt over the things we've done or over the things we've left undone. That way is God's way, the way of grace. And so the winter may still be with us for some time to come. We enter this Lenten period in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic crisis. And I hope we remain a people of optimism and of hope. I hope that we are not exhausted by the efforts of the year that has passed, and still ready to reach out and be for each other, brothers and sisters, neighbors and friends in a community of faith. The particular community of faith called Third Avenue United Church. A wider community that is open to others who may join us online and our online postings. Some of us in this COVID period think that we've had more than enough time to reflect. Too much time, perhaps, to dwell on ourselves and our circumstances, on who we are and what we're about. And that we need opportunities to put into play the new resolves, the things we decided to change. Those changes might well be restricted for the immediate while ahead. But with the development of the vaccines, we do have a hope that some of the restrictions that keep us apart and keep us from being the kind of community we want to be has an end in sight. We have something to look forward to. I think that it is important that in this Lenten period, we remember we have something to look forward to. Our Sunday worship is meant to remind us that we can look forward to the resurrection, to the good news that death is not the end, that God is with us in life and in whatever comes that follows. So may this Lenten time for us be what we need it to be. Perhaps a period to reflect, perhaps a period to resolve change, but most importantly, a time of community with and for each other, a time of looking forward, a time also of hope.